weeks, no, after 3 months of fighting and duking it out and fighting up the lengths of the powerful glories of the BFG series, it comes to an end tonight. Austin Aries, AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy and uh, Magnus, no, wait, no, Bobby Roode, AJ Styles, Magnus, and Austin Aries. Yeah, they battle it out. The final four participants face off tonight. Two matches for the winner. First, it'll be AJ Styles 1-on-1 with Austin Aries. Bobby Roode 1-on-1 with Magnus. Those two winners go on to face each other in what I'm assuming is the main event. If not, it's the world title match. Then the winner of that match between the winners of the first two I mentioned will be the winner of the BFG series and will go on the bound for glory to face either Bully Ray or Austin Aries for the world title. It's no surrender. It's live in St. Louis, Missouri, the hometown of WWE, of the new reigning defending WWE champion, Randall Heath Orton. It should be an interesting show. Let's see how it turns out. And before we get to that, remind everyone, check that link in the description. Help me get Jake Snake Roberts in the 2014 WWE Royal Rumble. But now, let's get the Impact. We kick off the No Surrender edition of Impact Wrestling with the leader of the Aces and Eights, the president of the Aces and Eights, and current world champion, Bully Ray, along with his main squeeze, Brooke, the Better Brooke, the Hunter Brooke, Brooke Kismuck. They come out and say that Anderson, in their opinion, apparently will do what's right for the club and not face Bully for the title. Hogan then comes out and says that Bully is completely wrong. The Anderson will indeed face him tonight for the heavyweight championship. This brings Anderson out, and it looks as though he's gonna do the right thing in Bully's opinion, but instead reinforces the fact that he will take Hogan up on his offer and will face Bully tonight for the world title by punching Bully straight in the face, sending him out of the ring. The segment ends with Anderson using his signature catchphrase, followed by Hulk Hogan announcing that tonight's world title match will now be a last man standing match. It'll be the president Bully Ray, the president of the Aces and Eights Bully Ray, versus the vice president of the Aces and Eights, Mr. Anderson, last man standing for the world championship in the main event, I believe. But we're about to kick it off with one of the best matches of the night. The first match in the BFG series semifinals. It's the points leader AJ Styles and his hand-picked opponent, the A-double Austin Aries, 1-on-1 with the phenomenal AJ Styles. It should be interesting. It should be an awesome match. Let's see how it turns out. My prediction to take it all the way to the end and win the BFG series this year. My prediction is AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. Let's see if I'm right. Austin Aries versus AJ Styles is coming up next. Let's check it out. AJ Styles picks up the first win in the BFG series semifinals. He will move on to the finals to face either Magnus or Bobby Roode. That match is coming up next. A phenomenal, pardon the pun, phenomenal match between AJ Styles and Austin Aries that actually ended with a high impact Styles clutch off the middle rope. It was a beautifully done move with Aries was getting ready to come off the top rope. Styles caught him before he jumped. And they actually had him. Well, Styles was facing the crowd. Aries was upside down. and Styles basically jumped backwards in the uh, Styles clutch position on the rope. He jumps backwards. Aries lands on his face, and Styles picks up the win for the to move on to the finals of the BFG series that will happen later tonight. We still have to choose his opponent. It will either be the future champ in his words, the future in the words of the icon Sting. Just now, he said that the main event Mafia picked Magnus because they see him as a future world champion. Will that happen? It'll be Magnus versus the winner of the BFG series. I think 2, 3 years ago. Bobby Roode, the leader of the Selfish Generation and member of Ego, along with Christopher Daniels and Frankie and Francois Kazarian. Will they get involved? Will Magnus become? Will Magnus go one on one with Styles tonight? My pick to win the entire Bound for Glory series is the phenomenal AJ Styles. I want to see him. I'm predicting, and I want to see Styles go on face either Bully Ray or Anderson. I'm thinking it's gonna be Bully Ray. Take the world championship from the Aces and Eights at Bound for Glory, and reclaim TNA for the originals. But do we have to wait? Do we have to see what happens tonight? So let's get back to it. Magnus pulls off a huge upset, in my opinion, beating Bobby Roode in the second semifinal match. It will now be Magnus 101 with AJ Styles to decide who will face either Bully Ray or Mr. Anderson at Bound for Glory. I'm hoping they might throw us a little bit of a swerve and give it to Magnus, but I'm hoping it's AJ Styles 101 against Bully Ray at Bound for Glory. Some people are gonna say it's because if Styles wins tonight, some people will say that it's just a way to keep him around because his contract's running out, and they want to keep him happy, keep him around, so he'll sign a new contract. But I'd say he deserves it. He's been there the longest. He's one of a few guys that have been there since the very first Impact Wrestling show. But before they were even on Spike TV, the first pay-per-views they had, weekly pay-per-views. He really deserves to be the top guy where he belongs, be the world champion. I want to see Styles win it, Bound for Glory, win the world title, and be the man to take out Bully Ray and the entire H's and Eights. But we still got more Impact to go, more of the No Surrender edition of Impact Wrestling. Styles versus Magnus and the world title match of the H's and Eights explode. Mr. Anderson, the VP, against the president and world champion, Bully Ray. Should be an interesting show. Before before the main event kicked off, we went backstage. Bill Hulk Hogan is in a meeting with these newly the newly remasked, the newly unmasked. Uh, well, he's still in the outfit, but during this he was unmasked. But the TJ Perkins, aka aka Manic, uh, the current reigning X Division champion, says he wants to test his limitations, test his skills against those of the charismatic Enigma, Jeff Hardy. Tonight, Hulk Hogan wins in that match. They are then interrupted by the president of TNA, Miss Dixie Carter, who says that Bellator MMA has pulled Rampage Jackson and Tito Ortiz from all future Impact Wrestling shows, uh, feeling that the violence and the whole situation has on Impact Wrestling has gotten totally out of hand with those two, and they want to save them for the MMA pay-per-view match at Bellator's first ever pay-per-view. For the traditional, for the traditional hardcore wrestling fans, this has to be a big sigh of relief and a big uh, positive step in the right direction for TNA wrestling. In my opinion, I kind of enjoyed the whole Bellator aspect, but it doesn't really matter to me if they're there or not. But coming up next is the world title match. Uh, Mr. Anderson, the VP, versus the president. Bully Way for the world championship. Bully is shown backstage talking to the rest of the aces and eights and says, and seems very paranoid as he says that the rest of them seem to want Anderson is their champion and their leader. They all deny it, but Bully believes they are pulling, deep down pulling for Anderson to beat him. Are they all going to turn on Bully or are they all going to turn on Anderson? Whose side will they choose? We'll have to wait to find out. But the world title match is on up next. Last man standing. Like I've been saying all along, VP Austin, VP, the Aces and Eights, Mr. Anderson 101 with the president of the Aces and Eights, the world champion, Bully Way for the world title. Let's see how it goes down. Bully Way retains the TNA Impact World Heavyweight Championship over his vice president, Mr. Anderson, in a very brutal match. Well, the Aces and Eights apparently have chosen their allegiance, have aligned themselves with Bully Way, and have kicked Mr. Anderson out of the Aces and Eights. Uh, and match was very close. It looked like Anderson was actually going to win a few times until Knox and Bischoff and Briscoe came out. Had a triple powerbomb a la the Shield in WWE, and I know a lot of WWE marks and TNA haters are gonna be bitching and complaining and wanting down TNA because how dare Aces and Eights use the triple powerbomb, but that's what happened. But that was only after the better book, the hotter book Kessmacher hit a low blow from behind to set that move up. It looked like Anderson was going to stay down for a 10, but he did not. Bully then hit him with a straight right hand with his fist wrapped in his long steel chain that still didn't keep Anderson down for a 10. As Anderson stood up, he stood up right in front of a table that Bully had set up in the corner. Bully runs in and spears him a la the way that our superstar was almost like a gore from a Rhino right through the table. That which kept Anderson down for the count of 10, giving Bully Way the win and helped him retain the TNA World Championship, the TNA Impact World Heavyweight Championship. He will defend that title the next time on October 20th at Bound for Glory against either Austin, fuck, I can't talk, either against AJ Styles or Magnus, the winner of the main event tonight. The winner of the BFG series will go on to face Bully Way for the world title, and I'm hoping that it's AJ Styles. But we still got more Impact to go, so let's see how the show ends. I forgot to mention, after the match was over with Anderson and Bully Way, they tried to carry Anderson out on a stretcher, but Bully Way stopped them in the aisle, dragged him down onto the down up the ramp to the staging area, pushed Anderson off the stretcher. He actually beat him a couple times with the backboard. Whipped the Aces and Eights cut off the now former VP, I guess, Anderson, and proceeded to whip him a couple times with that. and then did the move that no one wanted, that everyone says is supposed to be the most dangerous move in wrestling, which is why it's supposed to be banned. Uh, the pile driver right on the stage, and apparently it looks like Anderson's either injured or he's taking time off or something like that. But Boyway apparently has done away with Anderson in at least his own mind. But coming up next is but after the commercial break, we come back to uh, the current World Tag Team Champions, TNA Tag Team Champs, uh, James Storm and Gunner, who come out and challenge any two men, any tag team to come out and challenge them for the tag team titles on next week's edition of Impact. Uh, they call out such teams as the Bowmans, which are YBE and Jesse Gatos, or they call out Aces and Eights, and also the team of Ego, comprised of Christopher Daniels, Francois Kazarian, and Robert Roode. But instead, they get the former tag team champions, Supermax Hernandez and Chavito Guerrero, come out and challenge for the tag team titles. They go back and forth over who the best team is, and it ends up, well, Gunner actually makes the challenge for them to face, for Chavo and Hernandez to face the champs next week in a non-title match. And if they win that match, they will get a tag team title match in the future. It should be an interesting match to see. Plus, next week, they announced ODB will get a shot at the Knockouts Championship against the champion, Mickey James. Uh, I like that pairing, and I think it's going to be a good match to watch next week. But coming up next is the finals of the Bound for Glory series. It's the phenomenal AJ Styles against the young gun of the main event Mafia, Magnus. I've gotta have a bad feeling that they might give it to Magnus because he's a younger guy or he's an up and coming guy. But I'm hoping they give it to Styles. I want to see Styles versus Bully at Bound for Glory for the world title. But well, let's see how it turns out. So let's get to the main event. Just like I thought, AJ Styles pulls it off. He goes on to Bound for Glory to face Bully Ray for the world title. It was a very hard fought match with Magnus, but AJ pulls it off by hitting the spiral tap from the top rope to get the win. Like I said, he wins the BFG series, moves on to face Bully Ray at Bound for Glory. It should be an awesome match. But after the match with Magnus, AJ says next week he has a huge surprise for uh, Dixie Carter. He wants to say something to her face in the middle of the ring, and says that if anyone thought his opinions in the last shoot or whatever you want to call it promo he did a couple weeks ago was something, they haven't seen anything yet. As AJ Styles will blow the biggest, blow the in his words, blow the lid off the biggest story in TNA wrestling next week. Plus the Knockouts title match, Mickey James defends against ODB, and possible the tag team title, the non-title match between the champions, Bill Gunner and James Storm against Hernandez and Chavo. Should be interesting. But that's it for tonight. Like, follow, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And check out that link in the description for the Jake Snake Roberts petition to get him in the Royal Rumble. And I'm out.